rest of the week in just about 10 minutes.
Okay, Riley, thanks. It might not be the best weather for it, but it is still opening night over at SRP Park. We're about an hour away from opening pitches.
And a lot of people are hoping the skies clear out. The Augusta Green Jackets getting ready to play ball after more than 600 days off the field, as long as the weather cooperates, of course. But as for fans, the stadium will be around 50% capacity because of COVID precautions.
We have live team coverage for you from SRP Park tonight with more on the Green Jackets long awaited return to the Diamond after a long year off. Leading things off, News 12 Sydney Heiberger. Sydney, how are things looking right now out there?
Richard, right now I'm standing on the upper level here. Storms were heavy here. We got hit about a half an hour ago. Now we've dried out for now at least, and I'm going to show you, you can still see a pretty wet white tarp covering the infield, but that has not scared some fans. People are starting to walk in. You can see people starting to file in the stands. Of course, no announcement quite yet about a game delay or cancellation. Like I mentioned, it is not raining here at SRP Park right now, which is a pretty good sign for opening pitch. The team told me this morning they are just ready and willing to do anything to finally get back to baseball. For fans like Roger Congdon,
I'm a very big Green Jackets fan.
Waiting more than 600 days to see the home team play.
I went to over a dozen regular season games.
Was far too long.
I was so glad I came the other day and got my ticket and got the calendar for the year. It's already posted up on my refrigerator.
Inside the ballpark, the feeling is mutual.
We've done the best we can, but, positive vibes only is our motto this year, or at least today.
And what better way to come back after a long off season than as an Atlanta Braves affiliate? It's because of that new affiliation, Brandon Green says the team has sold more than 2,000 season tickets. That's a team record.
We're in Braves country in Augusta compared to, we're not the Giants. We're not close to San Francisco. We're right down the road from Atlanta.
Though the team has weathered a pandemic and an affiliate change, the next big hurdle is the weather itself.
We can't control the weather. We can only control, our attitude and what we can do in the ballpark.
They say rain on your wedding day is good luck. Hopefully the same rule applies for opening day.
A lot of wins would be a lot of fun.
Well, the staff tells me they have been at this park every night until midnight for the past 2 weeks, getting ready for opening day. They are ready to get back to baseball, and hopefully tonight we will see uninterrupted baseball for the very first time in what has been too long. Guys?
Complete with Braves merchandise there in the shop. It looks good out there, Sydney. Thank you.
Some new details tonight in the case of two men who drowned at Clarks Hill Lake. Game wardens found the bodies of E.J. Kirk and Ian Wilson over the weekend after a week-long search for those two men.
And now we're getting a look at the incident report from the day the two men disappeared in the water there, and we found some conflicting statements and information in the case.
News 12's Wrdw has a closer look on where the investigation stands right now.
More than a week after rescue crews began searching for 34-year-old Ian Wilson and 37-year-old Edward E.J. Kirk, more information is surfacing about what happened the afternoon of April 25th on Clarks Hill Lake. E.J.'s two sisters say they're not focused on the investigation at this point.
We've since had a sense of peace. It's been peaceful. We're just now focused on just celebrating and honoring EJ's life.
After we requested more information, DNR sent us the incident reports from the day of the drownings. The report shows 13 witnesses listed and only 2 were willing to give a written statement to law enforcement about what happened. But we're gaining more perspective on the actual incident. It was first reported that Edward Kirk was the first one to fall or jump in, and then his best friend Ian Wilson jumped in to save him. The report shows that it was actually the other way around, and that Edward was the one to jump in after Ian fell off or jumped in. That's when this video started to make rounds on social media.
As far as the investigation is concerned, we do have faith in the justice system and feel that anyone that is accountable for this will be held accountable.
Where we stand right now in the investigation is GBI is taking over the case. They say they are confident the videos are from the day of the drownings and that they are reviewing more videos that were not made public. They will continue to question those 13 witnesses that were on the boat that afternoon. Reporting in Lincoln County, Wrdw, on your side.
And the GBI also tells us they're expecting autopsy results for those two men later this week.
A man is behind bars tonight, charged with the murder of an 18-year-old from Aiken. 21-year-old Reggie Jones accused of shooting and killing 18-year-old Joseph Copeland. Authorities say he shot Copeland in his car 2 weekends ago while he was sitting outside of an apartment complex on Barnwell Avenue, right near Schofield Middle School. Jones now faces multiple charges, including murder and armed robbery. He's being held in the Aiken County Detention Center.
The back and forth continues on if Augusta Mayor Hardy Davis should be able to remove the city decal from his city-issued car. This is the debate that's been going on for a couple of years now, and today commissioners met in person for the first time in about a year to talk about it. News 12's Kennedy Harris listened in on that public hearing, and she's live for us at the municipal building downtown. And Kennedy, you say the conversation is actually on hold for now?
Well, Richard, the commissioners didn't actually discuss the decal today in any open situation, and neither did the public. So for now, the decal will remain off the mayor's car. And in 2019, the commission voted to exempt Mayor Davis from a state law that requires officials to have a decal on city-issued vehicles. That came after he claimed he'd been threatened, quote, on more than one occasion. At that time, we reached out to the Richmond County's Marshal's Office and the Sheriff's Office. Neither had anything on record about threats against the mayor. I checked again with the Marshal's Office today, and they still haven't had any credible reports of threats against city leaders or at the municipal building.
Having it removed when I first received the vehicle was, again, consistent with what Georgia law provides me an opportunity to do. And I've been able to move around the city safely, and I want to continue to be able to do that.
And today, the public hearing was a chance for you to argue why the decal should be put back on the car. But as I said, no one showed up, so that means the decal will stay off of the car. And they have to have a hearing like this every year, so it'll be another 12 months before this discussion is brought up again. It's a decision, an outcome that the mayor says he is pleased with. And I spoke more with him about what he uses the car for and why he wants the decal to stay off the car. I'll have that story tonight at 11.
Looking forward to that conversation, Kennedy. Thank you. So, considering the mayor's request, the I-team wanted to know how other Georgia cities are interpreting and following the law. So here's Laura Warren with what we found.
Savannah tells us their mayor drives a personal vehicle. He also keeps a parking decal on the driver's window. That lets him get access to free metered parking, which other elected officials also get. He receives a monthly vehicle allowance of $500 a month. When the Savannah mayor goes to public events, he's escorted by a Savannah police sergeant in an unmarked vehicle, but with lights and a siren. The I-team also reached out to the city of Columbus to compare notes. They tell us their mayor has access to both. If he uses a city vehicle, it does have a government tag. Their mayor prefers to use a personal vehicle, though, and his monthly car allowance for that is $650. Albany tells us they do not provide a taxpayer vehicle. The mayor of Albany uses his personal car around town and is only reimbursed for city business travel outside of the city limits. Now, I also reached out to former Augusta Mayor Deke Copenhaver, who held the job for 10 years before Mayor Davis. The former mayor tells me he did not use a taxpayer-funded car. He also did not receive a stipend for using his personal car. And I also reached out to former Mayor Bob Young, who did use a county car, but did not receive a stipend and did not use a decal, since the law requiring that went into place in 2010 after he was out of office.
Also tonight, tomorrow a judge decides whether the city of Augusta is required to turn over documents on the 3 candidates who applied for the job of fire chief. And right now, the city has only released information on the 1 finalist for the job. Antonio Burton from DeKalb County, that's why News 12 and some other local news outlets filed a legal complaint to fight for more transparency in this hiring process. We asked Mayor Davis about that today, and he says he believes the media is getting it wrong.
And there are a number of media outlets who have, in my opinion, misinterpreted the Georgia's Open Meeting Act. We believe without question that the city of Augusta has met not only the intent and the spirit of the law, but conducted business in a manner consistent with that.
Again, a judge will decide tomorrow whether the city of Augusta should turn over those documents or not. We're going to be sure to keep you updated as soon as that decision comes down.
Happening now, talks about Columbia County's new Performing Arts Center. You're taking a bird's eye look at the view thanks to our Sky 12 drone. Commission expected to take a vote tonight on 2 different items surrounding this brand new center. One is to enter an agreement with Ticketmaster so they would handle all ticket sales for the next 3 years. The second is to enter an agreement with Nederlander National Markets. That's a company that plans and operates concerts and other events. The Performing Arts Center is set to open in just 10 days on May 14th. But wow, a new chapter for Columbia County.
Impressive.
Downtown area coming to life there. Columbia County leaders are also expected to revisit plans for new apartments on Washington Road. These are the renderings for 216 luxury apartments that would go right across from the Mullins Crossing Shopping Center. And we're learning tonight the company in charge of the development is asking to withdraw their plans and rework them. Commissioners will vote on if they will allow them to withdraw those. And we're listening in on that meeting, and we'll keep you posted.
The vaccine rollout getting ready to expand one more time, this time to people as young as 12 years old. And we break down the data behind that decision, and if local health experts think it's safe. That's ahead in 60 seconds.
And we do have new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Barnwell, Bamberg, Calhoun, and Orangeburg counties until 7 p.m. Radar check and that forecast just after the break. If you've been not quite to summer yet, we're going to be waking up into the 40s by this weekend.
That's going to be a cool change for all of us. Riley, thank you. Some big news tonight in the nation's vaccine rollout. The FDA is getting ready to give the all clear to vaccinate people younger than 16.
The agency says the Pfizer vaccine will soon be authorized for kids 12 to 15, with some eligible for the shot as early as next week. News 12's Brady Trapnell is on your side tonight to answer the question really on all of our minds: is it safe? He's live now in the studio. Brady, what can you tell us?
Well, Laura, I spoke with the health experts at AU, and they say they're in the process of reviewing the data. Pfizer says that the kids in their study handled it well, but our hospitals are also sorting out how to manage growing vaccine hesitancy.
Pfizer says their shot is 100% effective in the group of about 2,200 children they vaccinated. They say that group of 12 to 15-year-olds handled it well.
Parents are going to go to their pediatrician and ask their pediatrician their opinion on if their child should receive this vaccine.
Dr. Joshua White says his teams at AU will review the data, but he says this vaccine is something to consider if you have teens.
This new UK variant, this is the primary variant in the state of Georgia, is much more easily spread to all, but specifically in children.
And as it spreads, health officials are fighting to vaccinate.
It is not something I expected to drop off that quickly.
Right before the Masters tournament, AU Health hit a peak of about 10,000 doses a week.
At this point in time, we're down to somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 doses per week.
AU Health says their Washington Square site will continue to be their vaccination hub moving forward. But as many still question the vaccine,
this shouldn't be the topic that's not discussed at family dinners or in friendly company.
They are trying to bring the vaccine to the community through partnering with organizations like Golden Harvest, as is the Charlie Norwood VA.
Our hope was that we would get to a little bit closer to 60% before we had to do the consolidation.
Jennifer Blanchard, the VA's chief of pharmacy, says they plan to turn their 2 vaccine clinics into 1. With 43% of their veterans vaccinated, there's still work to do, but there's plenty of convincing to do elsewhere.
This allows us to actually maybe have some more opportunity to do community events.
So what would those events look like? The VA says they're partnering with a 2K race in our area. Also, they're considering an event during Thunder over Evans. Our health officials trying to find creative ways to convince those who are undecided on the vaccine.
And happening tomorrow, Aiken City Council will talk about repealing the city's mask ordinance. Mayor Rick Osmond's request, at his request, he requested a special meeting about this. The ordinance first went into effect in November. It requires masks in Aiken's restaurants and businesses. If council members repeal it, the ordinance expires Thursday morning.
Coming up, we're going to take you back live to SRP Park. Sports Director Mike Yakachonis joining us live from the home of the Green Jackets as we count down the minutes to opening pitch.
Hello, I'm Ricky.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
Folks, over the last year, I've covered high school baseball games, travel baseball games, AAU baseball games, and college baseball games. But it's been since 2019, when the Green Jackets won a second half title in the South Atlantic League, that I've been back for Green Jackets baseball. And even though we've got some rain coming down right now. Today that all changes. Green Jackets baseball is back. Everyone who I've talked to has told me how much it means to have the Green Jackets be a Braves affiliate now. This is Braves country, and that is only going to draw more people to the park and continue to make this area even better. Yesterday we talked about some of the highest ranked prospects that are coming to town, where it might have been nice to know where some of the Giants prospects would play in another time zone. We can much more easily keep up with former Green Jackets who make it to the Braves and continue to follow their careers in person. I mean, after all, Truist Park really isn't that far away. And speaking of making it to the Braves, that's always been the dream of infielder Bryson Horn. The Columbus State product we told you about yesterday is getting to live his lifelong dream and is playing with the Braves organization.
I grew up a huge Chipper Jones fan. That's why I wear number 10. It's because Chipper Jones. But I probably won't be able to wear that number. After a short season, talked to the Braves, and I felt really invested with the Braves, and ultimately it just kind of made me feel like the decision was go to the Braves. I just, just want to stay ready, and whenever we're ready to get that going, I mean, I'll be ready.
Horn will be starting at first base today. And folks, as I just told you, the drizzling is starting to come down, and unfortunately, that weather could still be a factor throughout the evening. As Riley's about to tell us, we can expect a little bit more rain heading our way.
Unfortunately, so Mike, taking a close look at radar, SRP Park seeing a very light shower currently, and we could still see some more rain move in later this evening. We'll have another look at radar in that forecast.